Don't really have a lot of room, but we're going to show a quick setup. I'm going to do 4 players here. We have their boards and their standees and their dice. This is the scientist used in special scenarios. We'll just leave him there. We have several tokens there. Damage tokens, explosion tokens. We have some extra tokens that are used in different scenarios that we won't be using. Just to show you everything there. And then over here, we're going to start setup. Now in the basic game, to get you going, you're going to use tiles 1 through 6. There you have Roman numerals in one of the corners. But tiles 1 and 5, it says do not put them on the top level. And you'll see what we're talking about. So we'll set those to the side and we'll shuffle these. And we'll take 2 of these at random. Let's just leave them down. And then we'll shuffle them with these to make the base. And we're going to make a 2 by 2 grid like so. Then we have these cool little pillar tokens. And I'll take this one, place it here, and here we will do the same. The book describes movement with some illustrations very well. So for instance, going 1 tile adjacently, orthogonally, not diagonally, is 1 movement. But you can also move 1 level. So this is legal, as well as from here to here. So what you can think of is off of all of the sides or straight down. Okay, so down this side and down this side. There's a set of stairs or a ladder. So for 1 movement, bam, or bam. If this were too high, which would be in some scenarios, you would have to go 1, then 2. Okay, so that's how movement will work. That's the basic setup for the game. Now we have enemy portal tokens. Since we're playing 4-player, the first one will go back here on the ground, and you will see that momentarily. Then we'll just go around. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There. And these are where the enemies will be spawning and attacking. So there we have our board. Then normally you would get to place your players on the board and stuff to get going. But we need to make an enemy deck. So here are a bunch of random enemies. Okay, basic ones. And then when you get back here, there we go. Basic enemies. And then we have some boss enemies. They have stripes. 1 are easier, 2 a little harder, and then 3 stripes. And then here is a special enemy. I'm going to pull this one out. This is like the big bad boss if you play through the campaign mode. He doesn't have any stripes, but he is a super big boss, and he has lots of damage, lots of hit points, and he has a contingency that you must be carrying an icon, a token. So it's one of these in the scenario mode. It's an ancient relic that will let you damage him. So we're going to pull him out. Then we're going to create our monster deck. Let's do that. We start off by shuffling each individual stack. So for instance, these are bosses. So I'm going to turn them upside down. Each one rewards you with a different item. Now, if you've played this game several times, you could probably memorize what the items are on the back, but I do not have a clue, so we will do it this way. And then the grunts or minions or foot soldiers, whatever you want to call it. Now, in a 4-player game, we're going to take 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 3 random bosses. Let's just go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to mix these up. and that will be the top section of the deck. Now, 3 more bosses randomly. 1, 2, 3. So as you can see, lots of variety because we have all of these boss cards that we have not even used yet. Then the bottom, we will have 3 grunts. So, 1. Trying not to look at the items. 2. And 3. Shuffle these up. Then we're going to flip the deck, and I will just use this post-it pad to kind of cover that up so I don't know what's coming. So we have all of these cards that are not used in a 4-player game, which is when you use the highest majority of cards. So lots of replayability right there. Okay, let's take a look at the board. Then the first step would be for enemies to arrive. And we start with Vortex 1, Vortex 2, Vortex 3, or we already have a monster out, a boss. Ooh, and another boss. And I'm going to cover this up and just set it off to the side. Every portal that's open will get a monster. Now what I mean is that in 4-player game there's 4 portals to begin. But this room for here, for instance, you can activate it to seal up a portal temporarily. So then the next turn there'll be less monsters spawning. And the reason you mix the deck up the way you do is, for instance, this boss and this grunt minion here, he only does what he's ordered to do. So once all the bosses in the game are dead, he just runs off, he gives up. And so the bosses come out a little earlier. So in the 4-player game that we just set up for, there will be 6 bosses. And we'll set them to the side, and if we destroy all 6 bosses, we win. So that is the basic setup. Now we're ready to get going with the heroes. I'm going to take a moment, look at the board, look at how the enemies are set up, what their actions are going to do to determine where I'm going to set up, and then we'll start looking at playing and what we're going to do with the dice. Now, technically, you're supposed to put the heroes on first, but my mistake. I went ahead and did that now. I know he'll get to activate first, and he's a healer, so I went ahead and stuck him in this room. We're going to try to limit the number of monsters that come out next turn. So I've got my people spread out. In the initial start, you can only have 1 player in each room. After that, you can have 2 people if you move into there. Then we're going to give the enemies their hit points. One thing I do want to tell you to beware of, the 1s and 7s at a quick glance do look similar. And of course the 6 and the 9s, but they do have lines under them. So we will put that there for their hit points. Got some tokens over here, just off the screen there for monster life. I've rearranged some of the hero boards over here. So if you're colorblind, you can see if you can tell a difference between the red and the green. I did it in rainbow order. So we have red up here, green here. Don't know. I mean, I'm not colorblind. I can see the difference, but I don't know if you can or not. But did that, and also I have the health tokens out here. This player has special ability to block attacks and special abilities of monsters, and so I gave him his null tokens there. And I think we're ready to go. So I'm going to do a close-up of the first turn, go slow, show you how it works. Then after that, I'm going to reset the camera and we'll go much quicker, and I'll cut between my thinking. All right, let's get going. Try to do this on camera the best I can, but you roll all the dice. Now once they're rolled, you're not supposed to change the face. Now you will assign them for different actions and such, and this person here and this person here have higher than average block, but he can also do damage that is unblockable. So now he will do 1 unblockable damage at least. So that is really good. And here we have some more damage. And it shows with stars, this is what he's good at, is doing this damage, technically. But the die faces are all the same in every color. Movement and melee. Now I have these two dice here where I could make him go first if I wanted. Okay. To move, you would need to place at least one die to move so that you can get that one movement point. Or since both of these die faces are the same, you could stack them up and use them as anything. So we'll have to think about that for a moment. Then we have this star. This star is a wild. It can be used as anything. We have an attack. Definitely want him to use his room. So we might do that there. Then we'll hold on to these for a moment. We have another wild. We have some special. So he can block. He'll be able to block any one skill anywhere on the board if we did that. Or I could give those to him. Wow. So we'll think about that for a moment. And then her, lots more specials. I'm not as keen with her special about moving monsters, especially not knowing the game well enough. See if I can get that on camera. It could, if you were playing with friends and you could control this character, that would probably be much better because then you could force enemies to move right in front of someone. It's going to do a lot of damage. That would be pretty cool. So I have all of these. A little extra defense never hurts. And I could use 2 of them for movement. All right, so now I am going to pause. I'm going to think about this a little bit and come back and show you what I have decided to do. And one thing I need to fix or clarify, every die is exactly the same as far as the face and orientation of them. And every die has a star, and it is a wild, but if you notice, this person's good at moving and shooting. And so the star can be used as a movement or a shooting only. And with her, it is melee or her special and such and so forth. Now, I made a small mistake because on the board, to use a room, you have to use the die of that exact room. And so I wanted to put this here. Now, the other rule we need to clarify, and I've already done this with the red player, you must use 3 of your die. But you can give away 2, but you can only receive 2. So, to make it simpler, you can have anywhere from 3 to 7 die placed on your board, but 3 of them must be your color. Now, we know this guy, we want to get him to move once. And we're going to get him to help block, but we also want to use his special ability. So we can do that. Then I could give these 2 shields to him, because giving him these 2 shields will give him the same amount of block as if he had gone all the way up. But now he must use these remaining. So I can, let's see, don't want him to really move. We can do that, which is not a big deal. And then we can use the melee. We'll get to that in a moment. So he has 3, he has 3. He still has some die that are unused. He has some unused, and so does she. Well, we know she doesn't really want this, so we're going to give this to him. Then she has a bunch of block. Wouldn't hurt to go ahead and give herself some block. That would be 1, 2, 3. I don't think she's going to run into trouble, but for this first turn, we'll do that. And let's see. Can we contribute 1? Yeah, let's do that. Instead of moving that to initiative, let's move it there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, the number of players. in this special area so that a special drone strike can take place. And now let's go ahead and let him do a ranged attack. So now everyone, if you can see the purple player's board, let me slide this out. There you go. Everyone has at least 3 of their colored die and no more than 2 given from someone else. So now that is all set up. So now I'm going to slide it over here and we're going to look at performing the actions. If you set the enemy cards the way I have them, pointing up toward the base, then the arrow movement, well, this one moves differently, but for instance, it's showing you go this way, that many spaces. So you're going to be going in a circle most times. Sometimes you'll be going different ways. Sometimes you'll be jumping over, but you always want the cards facing that way. Then, for instance, the single lightning bolts will go first. So 1, 2, or 3 is be your initiative. And on the board, I could have changed some other people's initiative. Now, I have one player whose initiative, the green player, his initiative is a 1. If I can slide this over here without messing things up too bad. Okay. His initiative is a 1. And when heroes tie with enemies, heroes go first. So the first thing I will do is I can kind of do these in any order I want. I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'm just going to, let's just flip over the 1. Why not? Boom. So now only 3 new enemies will come out next turn. He also has a die on the melee. Now, if you think of this as an area, the side of this tile, separate from this tile has an area, and then this over here is one. I can melee attack. Now, even though I'm up here, I can attack melee here. Normally, to attack a boss, there must be no grunts there. They jump in the way and defend him, almost like a hive mind type thing. He has no one to guard, so I do 2 points of damage. He has no defense, so we will drop his life to 7. So we have performed that attack. And actually, I've already messed up, but that's okay. We'll leave it like this. Let me slide back over here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 die contributed by all players. 1 per same number of players. You can do 1 each player, or any, one person can contribute 3, however. But at least equal to the number of players. We did that, 4. So now I can choose any area on the map. And we were talking about areas just a moment ago. So let's say, for instance, this big bad boss. I will choose him for my drone attack. So since I choose this area, all monsters in there take 1 unblockable damage. So let's just go ahead and drop him down to 6. Technically, that would come first, but it's okay. Now, if it eliminated any monster, then no one would get the reward bonus on the back. But it didn't. It just did 1 damage. He's a pretty big dude. He's a boss. Let's do the damage to him, get rid of that. So the green player is done. That is the only hero with an initiative of 1. So now all of the enemies with 1s will go. So let's start with him. He will attack for 6. Well, there's no melee attack. Let's see. Melee attack for 6. And there's no enemy here. And his melee cannot reach here. Enemies can, heroes can melee from here to there, but bosses cannot melee from here to there unless they have the flying symbol, which we'll get to in a moment. And I just realized I've already messed up some things I wanted to do, but we'll have to learn that. Now this says he's going to move clockwise to the space with the nearest hero. So he's going to move clockwise, and he'll stop here. Then he will punch for 4. Ouch. So it's a good thing we gave her that defense. We gave her all that defense. So you look at the last space. So for instance here, if you had no dice, you would have no defense. And you'd have 1, 2. So she has 3 defense. That means every attack done to her will be blocked by 3. So she will take 1 damage for the melee. Now he will shoot for 6. But the way this works is your ranged attack goes 2 rooms over. 1, 2. There's no enemy here. And I knew I should have started him down here, but oh well. Since there's no enemy here, he will destroy one of the pillars that's holding this room up. So that is not good at all. And now we will, you can just barely see it on camera, we're going to flip this token over to show that he is activated. Now we'll go to this boss. He will attack for 2, well she'll block all of it. Then he will shoot for 5, so this is really awful because I have already lost the second column to that room. If I lose one more, it's too structurally unstable and the room will collapse. So I really have to plan better from now on. Now he will move 2 areas. So I have to get this out of the way. He will go 1, 2. And this is something I had set up and had been planning on because he actually has flying. I don't know if you can see that symbol with the bats. See if I can get it to focus a little better. One moment. So that bat symbol means he can attack people on top of a pillar like that. But it's an arranged attack. And since it is a ranged attack, 1, 2. He's going to attack the blue hero for 3, but the blue hero has 3 shields. He'll take no damage. So this guy's turn is over. And the other 2 enemies have 2 lightning bolts, so they won't go yet. Now we'll go to our heroes. Now we can do it in any order we want because we have the blue and the pink both have 2. What I wanted to do with this guy initially was to go here and shield him, but all that damage has already gone through. So that might not work the way I wanted it to. Ouch. Let's start with her. She has a ranged attack of 2 damage. Well, there's 1, 2. There's no enemies here. She can't attack right beside her, so she cannot attack these. So we're going to go up here to this enemy. And we will do 2 damage. So he will drop from 6 to 4. Just like that. So that is her attack. Then the rest of her dice are shields. The shield dice are the only ones that you will leave on your board until the end of the entire round, just so that you know how much defense you have. So that is her turn. So now we got to figure out with the blue guy, do I want to go ahead and move up here, or do I want to move somewhere else? I think I'm actually going to move him here. This might not be as good, but if he is a target under there, the enemies will no longer target those pillars. They will target him. So let's do that. So he has moved. Let's see if I can bring this over here. And he will attack for 2 damage. This guy, dropping him to 4, which is really good. And he has 2 special. So I can target anyone and cover up what they're going to do. I mean, I can block his attack, but it's not really going to matter. And that is all for the Initiative 2 heroes. So now this monster will melee 3, but there's no one in front of him. Then he's going to ranged attack to, actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Let me block his ability. So now he won't shoot one of those pillars. Yes, that is what I will do. Sorry about that. Now I'm going to move him 1, 2, 3 spaces because he has 3 arrows here. So now he is over here in this area. This monster here, melee of 4. Well, there's no one down there to attack, and he can't reach up there. Then he will move 1 and then shoot for 3. So he moves 1 here, and he shoots over here. There's no heroes here, and there's no pillars there, so nothing happens. So his turn is over. And that leaves the red hero. So if I can get this on camera, and I forgot to give him a movement. Wow, I wanted to move him down, but that's okay. He's already used this. No, he hasn't. He has not used that. This here is unstoppable damage, so let's go ahead and do that. He had 2 of them. 1, 2. So every enemy in a area that he chooses will take melee damage of 2, unblockable. So we're going to choose right here. Okay, 2 damage each. So I need a 3 and a 2. 3 and a 2. Nice. 3 and a 2. Okay. Yeah, this is a little fiddly. Might have to come up with a better way to do that. But for now, this is working. Now here, he has 1 melee attack of 1 damage and 1 ranged attack of 1 damage. Well, his 1 melee, let's just do this guy. Get him low, get him ready to kill. Boom. And then his ranged. He has no legal targets to range attack, so that's just wasted this time. But that's okay. And that ends the entire first round. So now we will clean up all the dice, return them to their owners. I'm going to reset the camera like I promised, and now we might be able to run just a little bit quicker through the game. Okay, little bit of setup difference. This is about the best I can get it to get everything on the screen and have it somewhat in focus. So I'm going to lay the hero standees down. Can't see that one, of course, but now you can see the others a little better. We have the enemies, portals, we've got the hero boards. Now would be the start of the next turn. So, portal 1 has been closed, so it starts by flipping back over. Boom. Portal 2, so we'll have a new enemy there. I just don't have the room to get everything on camera well. Portal 3. And portal 4. So now there is another monster there. Cover these up. And now I'm going to get the health tokens on these heroes. Let's go ahead and roll the dice. We'll roll them on camera so anyone following along can see what's rolled, and they can also start planning what they would do. And I'm missing a green die. Oh, right there. Okay, now I'm going to stop, come back, and see what we got planned. And I already have a big correction I need to make. Right here, a hero on the bottom tile attacks an enemy next to its room. The hero attacks an enemy that is at least 1 room tile away from him, with ranged. And according to the movement diagram, this is 1 room away. So when those 2 monsters were beside him, okay, should be 2 monsters here. Was it? Yeah, these 2. He could not melee that guy, but he could have shot him. But also his unstoppable damage is melee. So I'm going to go back real quick and fix that. We are ready for the next round. And I tried not to overthink things, but she was about to die. If a hero dies, they die as soon as their token reaches the skull and they're removed from the board. Then all the other heroes have 2 more rounds to finish out. So they finish that current round and have 2 more complete rounds to try and kill all the bosses. So someone dying this early would be just game over. So I did have to plan how to keep her safe. And I think I'm ready to go. So let's do this. He will go first. Technically, when it's a tie, the heroes go first. Let me see. I think they beat ties. Let me see if you can choose not to. No, you cannot. Heroes always beat ties on initiative. Tied heroes, you do it in any order you want. Tied monsters, you do them in any order you want. But heroes always break ties, which means he will heal first, which is unfortunate. He will heal for 2, although she was only damaged for 1 previous turn. So we'll heal her up because she's fixing to take a lot of damage. I'm going to use this. This time, let's seal off Portal 4. That is the only hero with initiative of 1. So now we will go to monsters. I'm going to start with this boss. He will punch her for 6. So I had to give her a lot of defense. She has a defense of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now he will move around the table clockwise, looking for a hero here. Oops, and I'd already done that. So he will punch this hero for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he will shoot for 6. Block 3. 1, 2, 3. So I'd already done a quick little test, and I said, nope, I got to redo that because she was going to die. And so now we're caught up to the part I'd planned. I just wanted to make sure that she did not die this early in the game, or no hero did. Now he is done. We will flip his token showing that he has activated this turn. We have this one. He will melee attack for 2. Ouch. Shoot for 5. There is no 1, 2 shoot. He will go 2 spaces. 1, 2. And then he will attack everyone. Since he's flying, he will attack everyone here with a range of 3. So he takes 1, 2, 3. He has no defense. So we are really, really hurting this round already. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. All the other heroes have 2, so now, or enemies have 2, so now it's the hero's turn. So let's start with this guy. I gave him an initiative die. You can use it to move or lower or raise your initiative. So I'm going to lower his initiative to a 2 so he can go before these enemies. So 2. Then he will move. And he will move down 1 space. He will perform 2 unblockable damage to both of these. So this 5 becomes a 3. That 3 becomes a 1. And I was hoping that he would have been able to have killed him off, but I could not. He had to use at least 3 dice. He could not give him 1 to pump up the damage. Now he has melee of 2, so you cannot split it. I cannot go 1, kill him off, and 1 to him. I have to do 2. So now the choice is, do I want to just weaken one of them or kill it off? I think I'm just going to go ahead and weaken this one. With it being down to a 1, no, I take that back. I was going to say if I were able to, in the future turn, get an enemy down to 1 and then do the AoE airstrike, it could possibly take him out, but he's going to do a punch of 4. Going to go ahead and get him out of the way. And we picked up a complete reboot. Reroll up to 5 dice and then discard after use. So it's a one-time use if you don't like what I roll. Hold on to that. Not great, but not bad. Now him, he can melee attack for 1. Well, he's definitely going to attack this boss. Since the boss moved and is by himself, he's isolated, we can get another damage on him. Now he will ranged attack for 3. Well, the only enemy he can hit is over here. So let's bring him down to a 3. Move these off, and then he has a special. He can block. He has to do someone adjacent to him. So he's going to move, he's going to punch and shoot. He's going to shoot her. Here he's going to punch him and kill him. If he moves, he's going to punch him and kill him. So she is definitely going to have to move over here just to protect him. So this is not a problem. This guy is going to shoot him for 4 and kill him. So let's block this. And wait, she can kill him now, right? Yeah, she can kill him before that ever goes off. So what else do we have? We have an attack, an ranged attack of 2. Here we have a punch of 3. Let's block this punch of 3. This guy here, yep, he's not going to do any damage. That guy will do damage. Boom. Took a little time there, sorry. Figured out what I wanted to do. So this is spent. Now, isn't that right? Isn't that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yeah. I'm going to have to actually go back and look at that to get his health right. And do that real quick. I'd kind of bumped it and I wasn't for sure where the health was, but it was 4 from him and 2 for him. So yeah, he's really low. We really have to look at healing. Now, we cannot afford to let him take any damage. This guy will be shooting him. But before that, she can do a punch of 3 and take this guy out. So now we don't have to worry about him. She picked up a mechanical arm. So she automatically gets +1 to all range combat. But you must spend at least 1 die to activate your range combat. But still, that's pretty cool. Give that to her. And it's white down here, so this is always in use. There's not a empty square here. You do not have to assign a die to it. This is just always active. So I'll just stick that by her player board. Then we're going to have her move 1 space here. Now you cannot see her, but she is here with the blue fella. Now, when my enemies attack, they attack every hero that's in the area, and you add up all of their shields. So she'll get to provide him with 3 shields on any attack. So hopefully she can help him survive. That is all of the heroes' actions. Now we do the enemies. He won't attack, so he'll go 1, 2, 3. He's just hanging out. Let's remove that and flip that. This guy will punch for 3. She's going to block it. Shoot for 2. There's no 1. Then he's going to move 1 and do the same thing. Punch for 3. She blocks it. Shoots for 2. There's no 1 and there's no pillar. He does nothing. We have one last guy. He will punch for 3. There's no 1. Shoot for 2. Now, instead of shooting a pillar out from under this, there is an enemy down here. And he will shoot him for 2 damage. So 1, 2. Ouch. Then, but a range of 2 is better than this melee of 3 that he would have gotten. He will go 1, 2 spaces this way. His turn is over. We will retrieve dice. I remember to get that one this time. Then we have to bring out more enemies. We have a spindly. Oh, a stout, another stout. And, we have a new boss, a Springer. And he's going to go right here on the 3. And then the 4 will bust back open. Now, roll the dice. And I keep moving those hit points around, not trying to. And be right back. We will figure out what we're going to do. Again, we're ready for the next round, and I tried not to overthink too much. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 4, 4. Everybody's dice are legal. We will now find out if they're good or not. starting with a 1 initiative. The hero goes first, so he will use this die. And let's block the 2 this time. Then he has 2 movement, so he'll slide down this ladder and go over here for 2 movement. That way they can help each other with shielding. Let's punch for 2. So that guy will drop from a 7 to a 5. Okay, that's not bad. Keep that there. And actually, I need to do that. Let me go ahead and heal. He is down to 3. He's down to 2. Let's heal him 1. Now I will do what I forgot to do again. There's 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, I don't need 5. I only need 4. So let's give him his special ability. And give these like this. 4. 4 die. With all heroes, we will choose an area. I will choose this area here. I believe that's going to be 2. Take him out. So it's not ideal, but there's the most enemies here. There's no bosses, but there are most enemies here. So let's make this a 2. This an 8. And this a 6. Or I'm sorry, from a 6 to a 5. So we just did an airstrike on this area and did 1 damage to all them. Now he is done. There are no more heroes with a initiative speed of 1, so this guy will attack for 6. Well, we have 4, and that's it, 4. So he will block 2, 1, 2, and she's dead. I needed to give her a shield to save them, but oh well. Can at least show off the game. Ranged attack. Oh no, he doesn't do a ranged attack. He just does the punch. Then he's going to move over here, and he will do a melee of 4. They have 1, 2 shields, so they will each take 2 damage. And range of 6, nothing. He will flip. Here is another boss with 1, nothing. Range of 5, wow. 1, 2, 3, and he is dead. Immediately off the board, does not even get to finish his attacks. So yeah, we have definitely lost, but this will give you an idea of how the game works. Let's see what else we've got. 4 defense here. So he is done. Oh, I'm sorry, this guy needs to finish his movement. 1, 2 here. And then he will attack here. There's nothing. And that's it. I have no more heroes that can activate, so it's only monsters now. Now, let me show you this real quick, because here's an enemy that actually has a defense of 1. But when you do a drone strike and his special ability, there are some attacks that says unblockable. He would not be able to block the drone strike, so he still took the 1 damage. Okay. 2 melee, that's blocked. 4 range, no 1. 1, 2, 3. They are going to overrun us, definitely. 3. That's blocked. Range of 2, nothing. Melee of 3, block. Range of 2, nothing. So 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. And oh yeah, he already went. Melee, range, nothing. Melee, ranged of 2. And says any of their dice that have not been used that have been contributed to other players. His defense is technically contributed, but I think it means only if you've contributed it to their board. So he only has a defense of 1 now. I'm going to drop that. And I believe that is, nope, one more here. Melee of 3, 1, 2. So he took 2 more damage. So he is out. He will slide over here and shoot for 2, but he will block all of it. Technically, this guy would have 2 more turns, but he only has his 5 dice, 1 hit point to try and kill all the bosses, and we have not killed a single boss. Wow. So I'm just going to play this out, see what happens. I've already rolled those dice. Let's get these out. Whoa, here's another boss, the Stinger. He has a flying attack. He has a melee attack. Look at the artwork on that. It's awesome. He has a ball and chain. It's pretty cool. So he will come out here. And another boss comes out here at 2. Really don't have enough room on the table. Now, one thing I did not get to show you, there's 1 boss left. Next round, let's pretend 4 monsters would come out. 1 would come out. Then I was supposed to, ooh, wait a minute. I cheated myself. He will slide here. And this new boss will slide here because this portal. Boom. There we go. Now, next turn, 4 new monsters should spawn. This one will go here. This one will go here. Then we have no monster to spawn, no monster to spawn. So what happens? Well, when that happens, you get one of these -2 tokens, and they damage an area with attacks. And these will stay on the board, and any hero that ends their turn in that space will take damage. So they're going to start attacking the ship itself and destroying the ship. Let's go through this real quick. He's definitely going to need some sort of defense. I don't think he can even do enough damage to hurt anyone. He's going second. Can he stop that? Nope, that's a 1. So that's not very good. Punch of 4, and boom, he's instantly dead. So there you go. Okay, that went very quick. Let me come back and talk to you just a moment. Apocalypse Chaos. That was chaos there at the end. I was hoping to show off a little more of the game, but I think I showed off all the mechanics and rules to get you a good idea. I picked it up on clearance at a very great price. I had mentioned in the unboxing, it reminds me in some ways of Ghost Stories. And I like this. I like this a lot. Instead of having ghosts attack and they just march in, you have these space pirates that are moving around the board and attacking. And they have different kinds of attacks, and they're attacking each round, where a lot of the ghosts in Ghost Stories only attack once they reach the board. Another thing I like about this is that you roll your dice beforehand so that you can kind of plan it out, which can actually lower the difficulty. If you have 4 people really working together, you're planning ahead, you're seeing where the enemies are going to move and attack, so you can drag the game out a lot by overthinking it. But it does make it a little more easy to get into for newer players. They always feel involved. If you have a bad die or roll, then put it down here and try to do a drone strike, or give it to another player. You pick up a piece of equipment that's great for another person, +1 to ranged, and somebody is skilled at range, like him, just move into his space and give him the card. It's really cool. Lots of variability. I like it. I like it a lot. Much more reasonable price than Ghost Stories. Ghost Stories has the little figures, the little plastic figures that are going to move around, even for the ghosts and such. And so that does increase the cost. The problem I had with Ghost Stories and lots of other co-ops I've played, sometimes it seems like you do everything right. You do perfect planning. Now it's time to flip the card. I need a card for this one location and we win. Or I need to roll this exact a black and a black on this die, and we'll win. Don't no one gets it around the table. No one gets it. You keep going, keep going, keep going, and then finally they just overwhelm you, and your deck runs out, or you get overwhelmed with the ghosts because no matter how well you played, you had bad luck rolling, and I hate that. At least with this, you roll beforehand, and you can say, "I have horrible dice for me, but these will be great for you." That's cool. With 4 people who are experienced, I think this game would be a lot easier. And I really like it. I like the setup. I do not like these little hit point token things. They are two-sided. There's like a red and a gray or a brownish side so that you can see which enemies have activated. The enemy varieties are pretty good. The bosses are nasty. It's just the fit. This is kind of fiddly. Yeah, I don't know anything else you could do other than have maybe make the. If you get clear card sleeves, then you could just use a dry erase marker and write their hit points right on it, and that would be really quick and easy. And then you just take your thumb, rub it off, and so that's an option. These are two-sided, so you would definitely need clear card sleeves. Another really cool thing about this, not only do you have a random setup here, but at the back of the book, this is just for an introductory game to teach you all the basic rules and mechanics. Here is a ship that is starting to be on fire. So you build a 2-tier tower, and it has some fire here. And at the top, you have to move people up here and activate a device to get the teleporter to work so that you can signal for help. At the end of this scenario, if you win, then it tells you your crew may restore 5, 4, 3, or 2 life points shared any way you wish in a 4, 3, 2, or 1 player game. So in a 4-player game, you could give one person 5 health and leave everyone else the way it is. Otherwise, life points remain unchanged. If you had acquired any items, you would get to keep those. And then mission 2. There's several missions to go through a story campaign mode together. This is really cool. Each one adds slowly a new mechanic to the game with some of these extra tokens that are there. Where at the end, you're going to have a final showdown with that big boss monster that I showed you the card of earlier that can only be damaged when you're holding the magical relic. It's really cool. That even adds more diversity to this game. This is such an underrated co-op game. I don't know if it's the futuristic sci-fi that kind of throws it off. I don't know if people don't like standees. This reminds me of Arkham Horror. You have this really awesome artwork and a standee to help reduce the cost because you're getting such a big game in a box. And the box is not that big. Everything is crammed in there, but it fits. It's not a lot of air. Maybe some people looked at this and thought, oh, this is some cheesy kids game. This game's hard. It's not easy. With 4 people knowing what they're doing, I think the game would be easier, a lot easier. You could take your time playing out what the enemies are doing, but if you don't really sit down and say, okay, this enemy's going to attack here and this, oh, okay, 4 enemies are going to attack this, let's not be there. Let's move off that square. Ooh, but we got to move off that square before they attack and not after. And you can really slow down the game, but if you just jump into it and play for fun, you're gonna struggle. Definitely gets easier with more plays, but I think it's a very underrated, unappreciated game. I haven't really seen much on it. I just happened to get lucky and stumble across it. It's awesome, at least in my opinion. So thanks for watching. I'm about to set it up and play it again. Maybe in the future I'll do another playthrough of it and actually record it. But for now, that's all. So this is Nathan, RatherBeBoardGaming. Thanks for watching. Come back and see more stuff after the holidays. Hopefully, I will do some more painting and box inserts or something. Got a lot of stuff to get going. So, all right, there you go. Thanks for watching again. Apocalypse Chaos. quick note before I go. I've played this several times now, and I've reset and played 2 or 3 times in a row at different points, and I have yet to win. And many of the games have not even been close. I'm talking about not even killed a single boss. Um, I've had one of the really hard bosses come out early and whittle him down to 1 or 2 points, and then he's constantly surrounded by minions or grunts, they call them, and I can't hit him, and I don't really have enough die to do a drone strike to finish him off. Just and he wears me out. Kill I've had bosses kill some of my guys in second or third round of the game and haven't killed a boss, so it's over. Last time I played, I had thought I had maneuvered my people well, and I'd got them up on top of a pedestal together so that they could shield with each other, and uh, enemies can't attack on top of a second level unless they have wings. And so they destroyed the, I don't know what I was thinking, but they destroyed the room I was standing in. So the whole room collapsed, and the people standing up there both took 4 points of damage and knocked them out. I have yet to win. This game really does take a lot of planning ahead and cooperating together, and it is a really tough co-op game, and I really like it. And I hope that you enjoyed watching the video. Maybe this will give you an idea of a game that your group could get into. All right, thanks again, and have a good day.